I probably should have taken my blood pressure medication.
How about your conversations with Chris?
He called me and said, "You are not Oppenheimer." Cillian is.
Does Robert Downey Jr. like Gwyneth Paltrow?
I do not like Gwyneth Paltrow. I absolutely adore her like a sister. Like a sister that you may have made out with a few times. Just to double up on Cillian's, mine was, I read the script, I was mind blown, and then Chris said, "Will you do it?" This is gonna work a fucking treat. Why Christopher Nolan? Now that in and of itself is just a question if you think about it.
Leave it at that.
What if Christopher Nolan directed The Avengers?
Whoa.
If Christopher Nolan had directed The Avengers, we would still be shooting it. Did you guys get the 3 dozen yellow roses 2 days in a row? Mine was a slower courtship process because he knew for sure I was going to say yes no matter what. Where does Christopher Nolan... Oh, this one's important. I better sit up.
You shaved back the hairline. Is it true that you thought that you looked like your dad?
Yeah, I look like my dad. Make sure I look like a weird old angry owl. And come in and try not to chew up the scenery.
How did Robert Downey Jr. become Iron Man?
It was God's will.
That's it, really?
Well, and a pretty good screen test. But I'll really tell you what happened is the same weekend, I did a movie called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Mm-hmm. Jon Favreau did a movie called Zathura. They both tanked, and we were both really hungry to try to do something that would make an impact. And when Iron Man came out, everyone that knew me and loved me said, "This will do until The Dark Knight comes out."
We've seen those first look images. For a long time, that's all we had was just a picture of your face in this costuming.
You see how I just got out of his light when he...
What year was Robert Downey Jr. on SNL?
1985, oft considered the worst season in the history of SNL.
Chris has said, he's been on the record saying Oppenheimer is the most important person to live in the last 100 years, if not ever. And this movie is about the most important things human beings did. To be part of a movie that's telling that story with a director who's at the absolute height of his abilities, you know, with a chance to support that performance, which to me is one of the great performances I've ever seen on screen, was thrilling. So.
Wow.
And this is from the man who colonized Mars.
I mean, seriously though.
I had no supporting cast.
Does Christopher Nolan have social media?
I do not.
That is a pointless question if you know anything about him, because you would think it was 1847 the way he communicates. I went over to his house, I read it. I don't want to complain, but it's on red paper printed in black, which is kind of difficult.
And a bit unnerving as well.
Yeah. I guess there's something about it that makes it that you forget it as soon as you read it. I don't know what those colors are. It's kind of like being hypnotized. This is how you get what you want.